for high civilization in the origin, but it's still been some seeming confusion about the identity of the particular nations and people.
Seeming confusion.
Seemingly, yeah.
Right.
Like I said, bring about confusion. When you want to learn your heritage, again, the story. That's what we're dealing with, a story. And so when you research, like I said, you humble yourself to break down words. The etymology of it, what was the original usage of it, what does it mean? And then back then and then now. Right. You can just get a clear picture.
What does nationality mean? What is it saying?
What it means. What is the purpose of it, or what is the benefit, or what is the curse, if you will, of it. You see, because when you're dealing with nationalities, you're dealing with nations of people. It's going to interconnect you to a spirituality. So you're going to have a spiritual story. Then they're going to be talking about a particular god, or gods or goddesses. And so when you know your nationality, your heritage, your story, you are in a wholesome position to relate and respect another story. And then y'all can grow and create, a greater story. But if you have no story, it brings about an imbalance. And you can be just easily manipulated, easily confused and distracted. Because when you're dealing with your nationality, again, it's a heritage that goes with that. So if your ancestors have left you some particular benefits, then under a particular name, again, it's some favor to be granted.
That's right.
And it's in the law.
That's right. And you don't get it if you're not aware of that was your ancestor.
Right. And so if you are...
or you're not honoring them.
Right. So you honor the ancestors when you mention their name. That's why naming gets so critically important. As I've been doing my research, when it comes down to tracing bloodlines, I find through history, his story, your story, a mystery, which is my story, through any of the stories, it depends on who at the time, who they wanted to be recognized as the benefactor. So you got matriarchs, you got patriarchs. Matriarchs saying this, we tracing stuff through the mother, Patriarch saying, hey, we tracing this stuff through the father. And some land came with that. Right. With the names.
Right.
And so myself, I've just learned to respect both.
Not go too far either way.
Don't go too far either way. Strive to gain understand, understand, understand.
And we got male and female within all of us. And so it doesn't matter which way are you going. It's all the same. We all got it both.
Amen. Amen to that. Amen.
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 Amen, Ra.
At the end of the day, not to
go do what you do.
Like you was trying to thought, brother King. At the end of the day, that's what it's going to show you: oneness and balance.
Perfect.
So we're dealing with our Lawful Study Group, and again, it's people who are being charged, which is it gets interesting how you get charged with a crime. And to me, I'm looking at Macy's right now. How is it I can go in there and they charge me, and it's not a crime? See, or is it a crime? See, so you get into these dynamics of how people function, how things are happening, what are they known for? And so the most critical point is that they are identified as a, as a universal whole. They're as a group. See, as a collective. That's what a nation is. It's some kind of, organic whole entity. It's got many dynamics. And so when they can agree and come up with a way to agree to disagree and have checks and balances, we get into the Constitution. You get into again, this courtroom and the courthouse, and then the bank come into play. And so we have to go into history, you know, and her story, and what the law is. What did they agree?
Amen.
How, what was the most beneficial, you know, methods, arrangements, agreements. And then you can find that you can arrive at, you know, peace and justice.
Amen.
Nations are identified with certain principles. And we know that the Moorish nation principles are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And so you have to learn about your status, you know, in the law, in the government. And we have to apply it. We have to be able to apply what we know. So when it comes to whether or not you want to physically appear in a courtroom or do your paperwork. And that's one thing that I've learned, how you can be hindered. It's another shackle, is the lack of paperwork. Because the paperwork is going to just empower you. Because what if your paperwork get burnt up? What if you lost your paperwork?
What if it gets shredded and the person did it purposely?
Exactly.
Exactly.
It was the same as when you was a slave and you had papers that said you was free. As soon as you hand them to the guy that's talking about you a slave, and what if he just take them and burn it up right then?
Nothing wrong with having credit cards, but to say that when people send their bills in, I used to work for the credit, I would see people hold people's bills and put them to the side, knowing that these people have sent their bills on time. But you tell them it has not arrived. It has not arrived. Then I add more interest to it when I know I'm working for the company, but actually I'm lying and I know this is what you've been doing for
Right.
decades after decades.
It's all a farce.
So
Amen.
we're dealing with some systems. You know, say it's a legal system.
It's just business,
Business systems.
commerce.
Commerce. And so when you're dealing with commerce, then we're talking about on the waters. What do they call it being on the waters?
Maritime.
Maritime and commercial.
Maritime law.
When we get to the roots of the words though,
Amen.
you're dealing with community, you know, commune. See how they're gonna tie that all in there? Now you got churches and institutions with some interest. Didn't you mention interest?
Right,
Oh
that's
man.
right.
See?
The interest is so high, it makes no sense.
The
even in
interest
the
is so
holy
high. And so the truth is that the interest is so high in you because at one time,
Stop it. Start it over again.
at one time,
Just push the
which
big
could
button.
be this time,
And then start to push it.
Push it.
slavery